So I'm a little late to the party with this review, but I wanted to put one out for this game because I'm a big fan of PS1 style horror games, and Canine is exactly that. A short but sweet 32-bit psychological horror game which sees you delving into the depths of a facility to rescue man's best friend. And the publisher was kind enough to send me a key for this one, but the game's priced at £7 in the UK, and I'd say that's a fairly reasonable price. Now before we start, do be sure to drop a like if this review helps you out, and subscribe for more Switch and Switch 2 content, as it really helps out the channel. So Canine opens up with a bit of a cutscene in which we get a single snapshot and a bit of text informing us that our doggo Tommy has been missing for 3 weeks, and that we received an anonymous phone call informing us that he's being held at the Umbral Clinic, whatever that may be. But that's it so far as intros go, and nothing further is revealed at this point. We then find ourselves in a dark alleyway clutching a tennis ball with a dog's name on it, and after a bit of a tutorial we proceed forwards past a freaky looking beardo weirdo who I suspect may be the developer, so sorry if that's you, and make our way down a side alleyway to find the entrance to the aforementioned clinic. Now I don't want to give away too much, as like I said, the game is unfortunately relatively short, clocking in at about the 45-minute mark, but from here on in we spend our time exploring the clinic, attempting to track down our dear Tommy, and right away there are some foreboding signs that not all is quite right here, as the first thing we spot is a magazine which talks of the fused canine-human hybrid, an exploration of the demigod potential. The story develops further as we make our way through the place, as we discover more magazines, documents and computer terminals talking about the same subject matter, until eventually we come face to face with whatever they've been working on here. Now the vast majority of the gameplay in this one is spent searching for specific items, keys and switches in order to open the way forwards. There are no real puzzles to be solved, and the level layout is extremely simple, so it's not a game where you're going to be getting lost or racking your brains as to what to do next, but what it does do is put the shits up you a little. It's not super scary, but there are a couple of jump scares thrown in there, and when you get towards the end of the game, this is where a bit of cat and mouse kicks in, as you attempt to activate switches whilst avoiding the game's monster, and it's not overly difficult. But even so, I have to admit, it still had me on edge at times, especially when I could hear the monster but wasn't actually able to see it. The atmosphere is kept tense throughout though, and the developer has done a decent job here. There's no music in the game, save for an ominous droning sound which plays continuously in the background, and the sound effects are minimal but used to good effect. But this really sets the tone for the game, and when you do hear those sound effects, they're likely to be the footsteps of whatever it is that is hunting you here. Now, while I did enjoy my time with Canine, I can't deny that after the credits rolled, I was left wanting more, and that 45-minute playtime was a little lacking in my opinion. Although the horror elements were well executed, I felt there was a lot more to offer here, and there was room for a whole lot more content, both in terms of the amount of gameplay and the lore itself. Another minor gripe I have is with the monster mechanics, because rather than just follow you throughout the facility, it appears as though it's triggered to enter the room that you're in at set points, and there's always specific hiding spots that you're supposed to use, or your ball to fall back on, which once thrown will freeze the monster in place for several seconds, and you actually have access to an unlimited supply of these in a conveniently placed safe room. If the developer had been smart about it, he could have ratcheted up the tension even further by limiting you to a single ball, or making a more complex layout for you to navigate, with a more unpredictable monster for you to tackle. But as it is, it's all just a little simple and straightforward in my opinion. Like I said though, that's not to say that I didn't enjoy it, because I did, I just wanted more of it. And while the game does offer some amount of replayability with its point-based scoring system challenging you to complete the game as fast as possible whilst also fulfilling certain criteria, it's not quite enough to keep me coming back for more. If you're into retro-inspired horror games though, and have an hour or so to spare, I highly recommend giving this one a go, and I hope we see more from developer Puko in future, because I'm definitely up for playing whatever they put out next. That though was just a short review for Canine on the Nintendo Switch, so let me know if you played this one, and let me know your opinions on what the best PS1 style horror games on the Switch down in the comments section below, because I absolutely love these kind of games and would be well up for playing more of them. For now though, drop a like and sub if you enjoyed this one and want to see more. Thanks once again for watching, and until next time, take care of yourselves and game on.